Hello and welcome to Mother Earth Astrology's Sun Sign Self-Awareness series. This is video 8 and today we're talking about the Sagittarian energy. So last Tuesday, which was the 22nd of November, the Sun entered the sign of Sagittarius. So we came out of that reclusive Scorpio energy that wants to kind of hide away, be private, feels a bit intense, quite focused, and October was quite a powerful month actually as well. So Scorpio is also quite aligned with power, especially that inner power and connecting with your own power. So I hope you were able to make some shifts during the last 4 weeks. So starting from last week, we've now entered this expansive energy of Sagittarius. And when the Sun moves into Sagittarius, this is the will to do more, to be more, to experience more, okay? Because Sagittarius wants to expand, okay? It's freedom, adventure, it's very exuberant energy. And if we add to that the fact that we have this Jupiter-Pluto square in operation at the minute, it can almost be leading to some kind of overwhelm as well, because this push to be more and this push for growth is quite a powerful push. So you may be feeling like you're being a little bit pulled in a few different directions, especially with that transit being a square, which can be challenges. And it can actually make us feel a little bit stretched. So if you are feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit full on, like you've just got so much going on, and kind of like you may be having fear come up as well around your capacity to actually achieve all that's being asked of you at the minute. And if you're feeling like that, just remember to connect with the breath. Just pause, breathe, remember to do a daily meditation. If you think you haven't got time for meditation, I assure you, you have time for meditation. And if you think you haven't got time for meditation, it is probably essential that you do make that 10 minutes each morning just to sit quiet, breathe and connect to yourself, because what you'll find is it will center you and it will actually make things easier each day. It will almost be like time expands a little bit when you've given yourself that little bit of time. So Jupiter and Libra, which is where Jupiter is sitting at the minute, and of course Jupiter is the ruler of Sagittarius. Jupiter wants more freedom, okay? Jupiter and Sagittarius together, they want more freedom, they want more adventure, and they want to experience more. So you may have suddenly found that you've got this overwhelming need to plan a holiday, to see more culture. Maybe you want to study something to incorporate a little more wisdom, which is another big Sagittarius and Jupiter word, because this is the sign of the seeker. So with Jupiter being in Libra at the minute, there can also be the sense of Jupiter trying to grow us through relationship. And there's been a lot of focus on relationship the last few months, because of course Jupiter has been in this sign. And also Jupiter is asking that we keep everything in balance while we're growing, or that we right the balance if things have been a little out of balance in our lives. So just be mindful that if you are feeling overwhelmed, to try and set that area back. The Jupiter-Pluto energy can make us feel like we can do a lot more. We can feel like we've got all this energy available to us, that we really can work on our ambitions. But if you're spending all your time at work and you're spending no time with your family and your loved one, or maybe your partner, then are you really happy doing that? You've got to look at the whole balance of your whole life, really. And there's also this feeling of wanting more freedom. So if you're tied to your desk, is that really bringing you more freedom? You might be making a lot of money and you might really enjoy your job, but you've also got to enjoy that money and the freedom that the money can bring you as well. I've also experienced this week, I think as well, with this Jupiter-Pluto energy, Pluto is traveling through Capricorn, okay? So Capricorn is basically aligned with the structures of our life and what we actually have in manifest form here on Earth. And when Pluto's transit through that sign is kind of breaking down that structure. It's asking it to be transformed in some way. So with the Jupiter energy squaring the Pluto in Capricorn energy, it's asking us to grow and to be more and to allow for more freedom through the structures that we've created by somehow transforming them to give us that freedom and that growth. But it can bring up fear, okay? Pluto is quite a heavy psychological energy, and Capricorn is related to fear and also control. So if you've found, like I did yesterday, that you're suddenly going into overwhelm with all this stuff that's being asked of you and this, everything that you want to do right now, there's so many possibilities right now that we want to do, you might actually find that you start to go into negative thinking, and you start to feel like you can't do it and your control kicks in and you want to keep everything like this, you know, you fear the growth. Where is this going to take me? Where are these changes that I'm bringing in? What's going to happen? Can I do this? Can I really expand my life in this way? So just watch for that, because Jupiter on itself is a very optimistic energy, and we all hear about positive thinking nowadays and the power of positive thinking. But if you're suddenly feeling that you go out of that and like all this other stuff comes up and you start to get into a bit of a negative spiral, as it can happen, then maybe just let it come, you know, just recognize that this is stuff coming out of you that needs to be acknowledged, that you are feeling overwhelmed, you're not a superhero, you know, things can get tough when we're being called upon to do so much. And just bring it back to the heart, remember to meditate, breathe, make sure you're eating well. We're also at the Balsamic Moon at the minute, so we're moving towards our new moon in Sagittarius, which will take place in Brisbane at 10:20 this evening. And at this point in the moon cycle with the Balsamic Moon, we're also feeling pretty tired, you know, if we've not been looking after ourselves and we've not been going to bed at the right time and we've been doing far too much and burning the candle at both ends, that tiredness can lead to overwhelm, you know. It's the more that we're refreshed and the more we're re-energized every day, the better we can actually handle what's being thrown at us. And Jupiter is also an energy of inner wisdom, and sometimes we're being called upon to just trust that, to have the hope, to have the optimism. And if Pluto in Capricorn is bringing up this fear around that, maybe you just need to transform that to move more into the optimism, to know that the universe always has your back. And it is my experience that no matter what is happening out there, no matter how bad we can make it in our own mind, for me, I find the universe does always have my back, and I would imagine it's the same for all of us. So as we go into this beautiful new moon energy this evening, which will be quite strongly Sagittarian, maybe think about how can you allow for more freedom within your life? How can you allow to be a little more inspired? What inspires you, and what can you begin that leads to you being more inspired in your life? If you're working a job that doesn't inspire you and life in general just seems a little bit boring, then this is the new moon to suddenly say, okay, how can I make my life more adventurous, more optimistic, and just put that sense of everyday hope and wisdom and wonder into my life. And of course, you can set your intentions leading up to this new moon or tomorrow as the new moon passes. And if you'd like help with following the lunar cycle, remember you can hop onto my website, which is www.motherearthastrology.com. Hit the sign up button, and in there you can sign up for my lunar cycle update. So the moon goes through 8 phases each month, and the first phase is the new moon where we set our intentions, and then we move to the crescent moon where we nurture those intentions. And what I'll do is for each of the phases, as we pass through them, I send out an email to flag you that we're actually in the latest phase, which phases are challenging phases, when are we supposed to conserve more energy. So that you might actually find that helpful if you're looking for a way to get a bit of motivation with your intentions and just to understand that energy a little bit more. So what else do we have? Sagittarius energy can also be about the vision and the big picture. Okay, so maybe sit down and say, okay, where am I going with my life? You know, sometimes we're going off on a journey and we've done our intentions and everything's going great, and then we get to a day where we go, I just feel so lost right now, I can't see the woods for the trees. So maybe it's a time to just reset that vision at this time as well. Also going into this next 4 weeks, so we have the Pluto-Jupiter square, which I've already mentioned, that's kind of pushing us. Late December, Jupiter will also oppose Uranus, which is another big energy of expansion, wanting change, just wanting to break out of anything that just feels restrictive. So we've got all that coming, which is a big change from where we have been with the strong Saturn energy. And I just want to point out here as well that strong Sagittarian energy can actually make us clumsy, okay? It can make us so quick and so enthusiastic to go off on this expansion and these adventures that we kind of forget our own feet. And if you know anybody who is strongly Sagittarian, I have a mother who's Sagittarius and I have a best friend. They're the kind of people that can just fall over at any point. They can have nothing on their feet, they can be wearing runners, there can be nothing remotely for them to fall over, and the next minute they are just spread-eagled on, completely out flat on the floor. And you're kind of going, how on earth did you get there, you know? So If you're finding that's happening, that you're being a little bit more clumsy and a little more hasty, then remember they're saying it's more speed, less haste. And just remember to breathe, center it back, burn the necessary essential oils that you find make you feel more calm, so you don't go into that overwhelm. Feed yourself nourishing food, make sure you sleep well, and just get excited, because this energy is optimistic, it is expansive, and it is asking you to grow more, which is always a good thing, because none of us want to stay in a stagnant life that's just boring and unfulfilling, you know. And sometimes growth does mean that we have to take on our fears, and we have to take a big deep breath, and we do have to do the work involved in getting to the point that we're going to be at when we have grown and we've expanded. And you may even be able to just feel that energy right now, you know. It's like we all just want to break out and become that little bit more than what we are right now. Also, getting into December, we have about mid-December, we'll have another Mercury retrograde, and this week we are entering the shadow period for Mercury retrograde, so at some point I'll be writing a blog post on that as well. So you can check out all my blog posts on motherearthastrology.com. As I said previously, there is a sign-up option on there. I'd love to have you sign up for my newsletter. You also get a free ebook if you do so, which is the Mother Earth Astrology's Introductory Tips to Astrological Self-Awareness, to help you to understand about your own energy and how astrology can impact your life. So I'm going to leave it there now, guys. Have an awesome week and enjoy the Sagittarius energy, and just remember to breathe when you're feeling that overwhelm.